from The Economist, Russia's Blackest Tuesday, December 16, 2014. If there is one thing worse than a huge rise in interest rates designed to stabilize your currency, it is a huge rise in rates that fails to stabilize your currency. The Russian ruble fell briefly to $80 to 80 rubles per dollar today. It only hit 60 rubles per dollar yesterday, and the fall came despite a 6.5% point jump in interest rates that was announced in the middle of the night, have moved a smack of panic. These are huge currency moves. This looks like a Black Tuesday for Russia, akin to the Black Wednesday, when Britain was forced out of the exchange rate mechanism, when a big rate rise was proposed and abandoned. The Black Thursday that was perceived to be the start of the Wall Street crash of 1929, or the Black Monday of October 1987, that saw the Dow fall nearly 23% in one session. Falling oil prices. Who are the winners and losers? From the BBC. Global oil prices have fallen sharply over the past 6 months, leading to significant revenue shortfalls in many energy exporting nations, while consumers in many importing countries are likely to have paid less to heat their homes and drive their cars. From 2010 until mid-2014, world oil prices have been fairly stable, at around $110 per barrel, but since June prices have almost halved. Brent crude oil has fallen below $60 a barrel for the first time since July, and US crude oil is below $55 a barrel. Well, I've been following the news about Russia and about the falling oil prices and about the depreciation practically of the ruble against the dollar and all other currencies. This means that the ruble becomes less valuable. And I think this is part of an economical warfare that's going on practically from the West against Russia. Every war predates an economical war. So it was also with the Third Reich. International Jewry practically boycotted German goods globally, and since they controlled practically most of the trade, well, a lot of trade was actually not done. The Third Reich then focused practically on selling to South America, to Argentina, or even Brazil. So there's always an economical warfare before practically a real war that happens. Now, what is happening is this. If you think about it, is it per design, or is it now obvious that the West wants war? Is this an economical ploy to weaken the Russian economy to such an extent that they cannot pay practically for basic goods, punish the population for being practically independent in that respect? Or is it a Zionist ploy that implement against good cop versus bad cop? We know practically from the Odessa massacre that Blackwater mercenaries were practically active, now called Academy, were active in the Ukraine. That the Mossad and even CIA operatives were active in the Ukraine, and MH17 was most likely shot down by either a fighter jet from the Ukrainian Air Force. I think it was a full-cycle operation. So you can see that the West is trying to provoke a war with Russia. Is this because Putin has actually something to say? Did Russia break free from Zionist control? Or is this again a ploy for good cop versus bad cop, that they control both sides, and then to provoke a war? If you lay the facts down on the table, you see that that Russia is trying to avoid a war officially. They're not looking for a war, or they would have intervened in Ukraine a lot sooner. They are on the defensive side, and the NATO, under leadership of America, and we know that America is totally Zionist controlled, they are practically doing everything what they can to provoke a confrontation or to provoke an invasion of Russia, to portray Russia as bad, telling us that we need to wage war. That is what they're actually telling us through the mass media, that we need to go to war. So it is practically NATO that is provoking this. If Russia would have played it along and said, hey, he's part of the big boys now, he wants to play a game again, then they would have reacted a lot sooner. America is always used to provoke wars. It's the global police force. So what do we expect now? The oil prices are falling at $50 a barrel. Russia is highly dependent on oil imports, and OPEC does not want to cut back or production to increase the price. And OPEC is practically an ally of the Americans because they made a deal in the 70s that all trade of oil is done in dollars, guaranteeing practically a worth of something for the valueless dollars actually. They print the money, loan it out to the state, and create the debt system. And why is the ruble falling? Maybe because the people don't want to invest in Russia anymore. They are not investing, or they're not buying the ruble. They raised interest rates incredibly at 6.5%, but it didn't work. It dropped incredibly, the value of the ruble. You can compare this to the Weimar Republic in the Third Reich, where there was hyperinflation, and it was practically cancelled out by the economical reforms that Adolf Hitler introduced. So actually they should make themselves independent of global currency trade, but I don't know if this is possible nowadays. It's all intertwined. So if the ruble is practically sold globally, then the value of the ruble falls. Is this per coincidence, or is this per design? There is an economical warfare going on. There's a boycott of grown foods, vegetables and fruits from Europe, and even meat and meat as well. Anything that you can eat is there's a boycott from the Russian embargo practically as a response. Now this ruble is falling, now the oil price is falling. Is this per chance, per coincidence, because of the trade and surplus of oil, or is this per design? OPEC is not interested in low oil prices. They would more likely want to increase the oil price to make more profit. So this is also damaging OPEC. So why don't they stop practically or reduce the production? Because it would mean that they would sell less, but at least at a higher price. Yeah, I just wanted to make a video practically on the so-called economical warfare that's happening. According to various prophecies and viewers and seers, the war, or so-called third big event, the third big world war actually, will take place at the end of July, beginning of August of some year, where the winter is mild in Europe at least. I'm still thinking about this, when it's going to happen. We see this unfolding practically on TV, that that they want a confrontation, Odessa massacre, Black Ops mercenaries, Blackwater mercenaries or academic mercenaries in the Ukraine active. Even the Mossad former soldiers or former Mossad agents are also working in the Ukraine, and even CIA operatives. And the MH17 false flag, they're building it up, and now it's an economical warfare happening. I don't believe this is per coincidence that the oil price is falling that fast, that it is per design, that they increase production from all sides. Not the OPEC countries, but different methods of gaining oil in America that is making them self-reliant, of course. Still, China has a growing economy. There is a huge growing demand for oil practically, but the price is dropping. And it damages Russia. Everything points to the fact that they're trying to provoke a reaction. Either they control all sides and puppeteer us all the way, which Scott Roberts supports practically, or there's really some change in power and they want to remove certain people from power, maybe like Putin. According to the viewers and seers, the Third World War would only last 3 months, but it would be horrific. Judgment Day also would take place during World War III, and the appearance of the Son of Man, or the first Sargon. According to various prophecies, viewers, according to various religions as well, incarnation of Vishnu or Avatar, Jesus Christ, the Mahdi. According to these viewers, it's going to be horrible and a lot of destruction, but apparently that mankind chose this path. There's a freedom of choice, and if they tell us that we have to go to war, and we all believe it and we go to war, then they will have their war. I just hope for a good ending, for a beginning of the new age. It's called salvation, and I hope that one day we can live in peace. where war is no longer necessary. And according to Dr. Stephen Greer's book, Hidden Truth Forbidden Knowledge, he says that at least there would be at least peace for 500,000 years. According to the Zayahan prophecies, the kingdom of heaven on earth would last 1,000 years or longer. And according to the Bible, we would no longer need weapons. So a peaceful age awaits us of truth, clarity, spirituality, true spirituality, the knowledge of our eternal existence. And that we're here practically to educate ourselves or to gain new insights and new experiences and enjoy practically life, and not to wage war against each other. That is why I believe in universal peace. Cheers.